Hi, welcome again. My name is Saran Mishra. I'm the editor-in-chief of The Exponent, and today we have a really special guest for you, Meg Hiley, the current Vice President of Purdue Student Government. And we're going to talk a little bit about the elections right now. And always remember to submit your questions via social media, Facebook and Twitter. And I encourage you to write a letter to me, the editor. Meg, to start off, I guess everyone's curious. What is the role of the VP?
Sure. So the role of the vice president, not first and foremost, but it's very important. They're the president of the Student Senate.
Right.
So every other week, the president or the vice president presides over the Senate. And that was honestly one of my favorite opportunities that I had as vice president, was to kind of run debate, because if there was a viewpoint that I felt strongly about, I could make sure I was calling on those people. So being president of the Senate is very important. Holding those senators accountable, and the committee chairs, making sure that I can communicate to the rest of cabinet what's going on in Senate when it's not in session. The vice president is also the chair of the Campus Safety Task Force, which is something that I kind of revived this year and kind of reinvigorated a little bit to get a little bit more student presence on it. And so that's something that I'm hoping can be sustainable by the time the next vice president comes in, and he or she can really do something awesome with. But then beyond that, a lot of my responsibilities have been things that Kyle has asked, or sometimes I have to ask Kyle, because he likes to do a lot. But pet projects that I'm really passionate about, I can kind of step up and work with Kyle, or kind of take it off his plate because he's a busy guy. But those are the primary roles of the vice president.
I mean, when you were campaigning for the position, did you have a certain set of expectations, and how did those match up with reality in terms of, your role plus your workload and, just the whole operating the whole system?
Sure. One of the biggest struggles that I faced as vice president, and that I have heard echoed by previous vice presidents, is that when someone has a problem and they come to PSG, they always go to Kyle. Very rarely do people immediately go to the vice president, because when you think of an organization, you think of the president. And so it was really difficult for me, without sometimes pestering Kyle about what he was doing, to know exactly what people were coming forward to with PSG. Some safety concerns have come to me, and some Senate things like co-sponsorships and things like that. But talking expectations versus reality, one of the hardest things was most people go to Kyle. So
I see.
I wish more people would just come talk to me.
So it's communication.
It is communication, yeah, definitely.
And I mean, but from your position though, you must have had like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Were there some issues on campus that you got to see that you otherwise wouldn't have if you were not the vice president?
Certainly. One of the things that I will always remember from my term as vice president is the candlelight vigil that occurred after the shooting in January. And it was really inspiring. It was very touching to be able to work with PSUB and so many other student organizations, Office of the Dean of Students, to bring that together and see the behind-the-scenes work, and then just see such a large number of students come out to that event and support each other, and the victim's family and everything. That was one thing that I will always remember. And then other issues, yes, especially in the Student Senate. That's where a lot of PSG's viewpoints are kind of announced via vote. And it's been interesting to watch the senators debate over those, pick the issues that they really see as most important. So it's very cool to get to sit in a room with some of the campus's greatest thinkers and see them kind of fight over things sometimes. And
what are some of those issues?
Sure. So at the last meeting, we actually talked about the Student Fee Advisory Board and the way the student activity fee is allocated. And that was definitely the most lengthy and heated debate of the year, as it should be, because it's dealing with student funds. And so to see them kind of pick over what they thought was most important in terms of the allocation that was given to them by the Student Fee Advisory Board, and see things they thought maybe that weren't as important, some of the things that were allocated. So it was very interesting to see, especially considering that some senators had been kind of questioning the student activity fee throughout the year, to kind of see how that played out, and see what they thought themselves, and as representatives of their constituents, what they thought were the most important issues.
Right. And as you know, the debates are tonight. I'm sure you're very excited. And you're asking the questions, some of the questions?
They open some of the last questions to the audience. So I have a couple that I would like to ask them.
Now, thinking back to your own debate last year, is there something that you would have done differently?
Yeah. So I guess it would be 3 presidents ago, and I don't always remember this as the biggest facepalm of my VP debate. Brad Kreitz was student body president, I guess it would have been 2011, 2012 maybe, and he asked a question and he said, if you won, who would be the first person that you went to? And I was really flustered because I knew Brad, he was friends with my brother, and he had kind of been heckling me throughout the campaign period, and I said I would talk to my academic advisor. And in retrospect, obviously, I should have been talking to, like, I don't know, President Daniels or Provost Sands or something like that, but I was just froze, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. So looking back, like, that was kind of embarrassing, and Brad kind of gave me some flack about that. But then in terms of the debate and talking about policies, I was really actually pretty pleased with the way the debate went, because I was able to talk about things I thought were really important. And Kyle and I ran on the platform of Team Purdue, which was kind of uniting Purdue as a team and letting students kind of take ownership in student government and the way that things run at Purdue. And I thought that I communicated that really well. I don't know if that answers your question. But.
Sure. I mean, my next question, kind of leading up to that, was what is some of the advice that you have for Joe and Caroline tonight?
Sure. My biggest advice for them is the other two candidates for vice president, Aaron and Adam, last year, they had these notes in front of them, and I went up there without notes in front of me, and whenever I was asked something, I was able to focus on what I really wanted to say and not the platform points that were in front of me, and really just be able to communicate exactly what was on my mind. I'm a very honest and forthcoming person, sometimes to a fault, but it was good to be able, instead of focusing on words on paper in front of me, to just be able to communicate exactly what I felt about the question at hand. And it's okay to be nervous.
Sure.
But typically the vice presidential debate, the attendance is a little lower, so it's a really good way to communicate what you're trying to say, but normally it's
to your home base.
To your home base, exactly. So it makes you more comfortable for the next week and a half of campaigning
Sure.
to be able to go out there and talk to people that maybe you don't know as well. Exactly, yeah.
And we spoke a little bit about this before we started shooting, but votes, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Student participation, as far as running for senators, that's another problem. But it's all about student participation. And so does it worry you, this lessening number of students being involved in student government elections? And what kind of implication do you think that has?
Sure. It definitely does worry Kyle, myself, the rest of PSG, and so that's why this year we have set a goal of 8,000 votes. I think previously the goal had been 10,000 votes, but we thought 8,000 is doubling last year's turnout, and that would be realistic. And it is disheartening to see a lower number of senators running this year. However, we do have an awesome elections director. Our elections director is actually Erin Whitaker, who was one of the vice presidential candidates from last year, and she is doing a really great job. But it is worrisome because the student body elections are one of the biggest events that PSG does all year, and so I think that in a lot of ways it is a direct reflection of how we're connecting to the student body, and so I think that's why Kyle and I have made it such a large goal, is because people are voting on who they want to represent them for the next academic year, and if in 2 weeks we can't reach 8,000 students, that's really worrisome. And so I think a lot of times we are reaching that number of students, but it's empowering them to take ownership in the way that Purdue is run, and getting them to really vote instead of just thinking about it, really getting their opinions out there.
Now, do you think that sometimes maybe PSG elections are seen as more of an internal affair, and that possibly disenfranchises, or seemingly disenfranchises, part of the student body?
Yeah, this is, speaking candidly, this is the first year that we haven't had an external candidate running for president, and I think that was something that Kyle and I were kind of a little disheartened about, because it is always, first of all, having a third candidate always makes it just really interesting, but it is really good, even if they aren't elected, to hear the perspectives of students that haven't been in PSG, because I've been in PSG for 3 years now, and so it is good to be able to talk to students that haven't been involved in PSG and get their opinions and get what they think is really important, because sometimes, especially for Kyle and I, we have responsibilities that are pretty much set in stone, so to be able to talk to students and see outside of those roles what else is really important to them.
Sure. I mean, in my own personal research, I sometimes go up to students, and if they're international students, they don't even know they can vote. And that's a large chunk of the student population that completely gets left out of having a voice. How do we combat that? How do we fix that problem? How do we get them out and participating?
Sure. Well, this is the first year that PSG, under its executive branch, has had executive director of diversity and inclusion with directors working under her. Her name is Victoria Loon, and she's done a really good job starting
that off. I've been to a
off.
diversity dinner.
Yes, yeah, and so she's done a truly great job, and just engaging students with PSG, and then hoping to see that reflected in voting turnout. But then she's also actually a member on our cabinet. She's the only executive director on our cabinet because we really value her input, and she has some really wonderful things to share. And then I know for my campaign with Kyle, and I think both campaigns have someone, either an international student or someone well connected with international students, to reach out on a campaign level. And I do not know. I'll have to check with Aaron and see, but I would like to see a similar diversity and inclusion branch in the elections committee, making sure that they're being reached out to.
I'll end it with this. You got a little bit of time left in your position. What is one thing you're trying to accomplish before your term is over?
Sure. As I previously mentioned, on the Campus Safety Task Force, this semester there has definitely been a growth in student interest in campus safety, and so I am excited to kind of take something that had existed before and hadn't been as effective and make it a really student-driven initiative with students that really want to go out there and get stuff done. And so traditionally the Campus Safety Task Force has always done a safety walk, so that will be the first event that we really do as a new team before the new vice president takes it over. But that'll be a good way for us to organize, and I really want to make it sustainable for the next vice president. So that's my largest goal. We'll also be working with Sexual Health Week through PUSH and through the Student Wellness Office, and kind of giving a helping hand there too. So those are the two things I'm most looking forward to, but it's coming to an end pretty quickly.
It's been a heck of a run.
It has.